My name is Ned. Most people call me Grandpa Ned now, though once long ago I was just Ned, the man who worked double shifts, skipped vacations, and counted every coin so his family would never have to. I believed sacrifice was love. I believed silence was strength. And I believed my son would one day understand everything I gave up for him. That night the house was quiet in a way that made my chest feel heavy, the kind of quiet that hums in your ears and makes old men uneasy. I had been balancing my checkbook at the kitchen table, the same scarred oak table where my wife once kneaded dough and laughed when the flour dusted her nose. The numbers didn't make sense. I checked again and again. My savings, my entire retirement fund, the money I had tucked away for emergencies, for medicine, for dignity, was almost gone. At first I thought it was a mistake. Banks make mistakes, right? But the transaction history told a different story. Transfers, withdrawals, a new account, all linked to my son's name. My hands shook as I stood up. My knees ached as I climbed the stairs, each step heavier than the last. I wasn't angry yet. Mostly I was confused, hurt, like discovering a stranger had been living in your house, wearing your child's face. He was in his room, scrolling on his phone, when I knocked. "Son," I said softly, "we need to talk." He didn't look up. "About what?" "My savings," I said, "they're gone." That's when he looked at me, not with guilt, not with shame, but with irritation, like I'd interrupted something unimportant. "I used it," he said flatly. "You used it," my voice cracked. "That was everything I had." "You weren't using it," he snapped. "You just let it sit there." I stared at him, searching for the boy I once held on my shoulders. That money was for my care, for my future. He laughed, actually laughed. "Your old dad, what future?" The words hit harder than any fist. "I paid your college tuition," I whispered. "I sold my truck for your wedding. I worked until my back gave out so you'd never struggle." "And now it's my turn," he said, standing up. "I have debts, a lifestyle, responsibilities." "So you stole from me?" I asked. That's when his face changed. "Don't say it like that." "Then what do you call it?" He stepped closer. I could smell his cologne, expensive, paid for with my life's work. "I call it family," he said, "and if you make a problem out of this, you can find somewhere else to live." The room spun. "This is my house." He scoffed, "Not for long." I turned away, my heart pounding, my mind racing. I needed air. I needed time. I needed to breathe before my chest broke open. I took one step toward the stairs. Then I felt it. A hard shove. My body lurched forward, the world tilted, and suddenly I wasn't standing anymore, I was falling. The stairs slammed into me again and again. My shoulder, my ribs, my head. Each impact stole the breath from my lungs until I landed in a twisted heap at the bottom, staring at the ceiling light flickering above. I tasted blood. I heard his footsteps pause at the top of the stairs. "Don't make this harder than it needs to be," he said. Then he walked away. I lay there for a long time, I don't know how long. Minutes felt like hours. Pain screamed through my body, but worse was the emptiness, the realization that the son I raised would rather break me than face the truth. When I finally managed to crawl to the phone, my fingers barely worked. I didn't call him. I didn't call family. I called the police. At the hospital, the doctor said I was lucky. Bruised ribs, a concussion, no broken spine. Luck felt like a strange word for what I had survived. When the officer took my statement, his eyes softened in a way that told me he'd heard stories like mine before. "Sir," he said gently, "did you authorize those transfers?" "No," I said, "never." The investigation didn't take long. What my son didn't know, what he never bothered to check, was that I'd kept records of everything, dates, signatures, password changes. The bank flagged the account once authorities stepped in. Fraud, elder abuse, assault. Words I never imagined would be attached to my family. The day he was arrested, I didn't feel victorious. I felt hollow, like a house after a fire, still standing but scorched inside. I moved into a small apartment afterward, nothing fancy, just clean, quiet, safe. I bought a used armchair and placed it near the window where the morning sun comes in. Some days the pain still lingers in my bones. Other days, it's the memories that ache more. But something unexpected happened too. I started sleeping through the night. I started smiling at strangers. I started living for myself. My savings were eventually recovered, not all of it, but enough. Enough to remind me that even at my age, it's not too late to choose peace over pain. People ask me now if I regret calling the police on my own son. I tell them this: I regret trusting someone who thought my life was already over. Because I'm still here. Still breathing. Still standing, no matter how hard he tried to push me down. And this time, I'm not climbing stairs for anyone who would shove me aside.